Hi everybody, welcome back. I just wanted to say a big thank you to anyone who has subscribed to the channel and been watching the videos. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to see it grow. So if you're someone who's owned a Nissan and you've had it low and you've drifted it, you will know all about this wiring loom. So it sits a couple of inches down from the inner arch on the driver's side on a UK car, and runs through, and it runs all the electrics and stuff. And you'll have had two experiences from it. One, you'd have rerouted it already, because a lot of people just flip the wiring loom onto the top here. Or two, you'd have been drifting at drift day, you'd have gone right the way through it, lost all your electrics, and because you're a badass and you drive to your drift days, you would have had to drive all the way home in the dark with no lights or bodged up wiring. And then you'd have had to extend it. So what we're going to do is a couple of things. We're going to strip off the wiring loom. We're going to extend it by about 3 inches. I'm actually going to make up a plate on the inside as well, so that when you've got bigger wheels on, it's not going to scrub on the loom. We are working on electrics. The first thing we're going to do is grab a 10mm and whip the battery off, and just disconnect the live there to keep us safe. Now we're going to start stripping this whole loom down all the way from right back here where it goes into the grommet all the way to about here, and we're going to extend it somewhere around here so that any extra we can tuck in at the other end. So what we've got here is 57 small cables, 6 big cables, power life for amplifier, our LF system wiring, 1 bonnet catch, and two washer jet pipes that I've already cut one here because that's for the rear and we're not going to use that. Now the sensible thing to do would be to cut one wire, add the splice in about 3 inches, solder that up, seal it up, and then go on to the next wire. But I actually want to take out this grommet over here, and I want to put a whole new sleeving onto this, similar to this stuff which is used on the LF wiring. So actually I'm going to need to cut all of them. Now they are indicated by different colour codes, although some of them seem to have similar, if not the same colour codes. So we're going to have to be a bit tricky there and just make sure we've got the right ones to the right things. I'm also hoping with these larger ones that they're all just a thicker wire, because we can just go for a thicker gauge wire, that's fine. But some of them, like these black ones here, like they might be a coax wire, which might be a bit tricky, but we've got some of that as well, so yeah, we can always splice them in. We've got the cutters, we've got some wire, we've measured out our length, we're going to go 3.5 inches. We've got one perfectly cut one. We have 47 individually cut ones on there, and 94, if my maths is correct, cut bits of heat shrink. Right, now it's time to crack on and get cutting. So I've just put some cable ties on each side of where I'm going to cut, just to keep everything nice and neat, and also keep these wires in place in hope they'll sort of match up in the right sort of area when we come to individually pull each one. So first thing to do, I'm going to chop through all of these OE wires, and then we're going to take off this rubber grommet here and sleeve on the new coating. Right, let's go. So we can use this big heat shrink and some of this wire sleeving to go over the whole of the thing that we've cut up. We'll put it on there now, because if we start soldering, then obviously we can't slide anything over. We'll put a load of the heat shrink on this other end as well, just so we know that we've got our bit there for when it's all done, and that'll seal it all up. So when I was popping out the rear wiper tube, I actually found a much nicer place to run the air line. So up in here, you can see above the main loom, there's this little one here which comes with this little grommet, and it's perfect for the 3/8. So actually you're just going to tuck that up there, and that can then just run straight across into here, where it's going to run through, because it's a nice smooth edge, through to the other side of where the fitting is. So we're ready to start soldering up now. So I've got the soldering iron, heat gun, solder, some tape just to take things back and out of the way, and some cutters. Also got some trimmers here, and we're going to start trimming these down. What I'll do, I'll show you one or two, but if I show you everything, it's going to be the longest time lapse in the world, because it's probably going to take 2 hours maybe. So I'll see you in a bit. We've got hundreds of wires now sorted and soldered up, so that's all of the loom there that we've done. So the next thing to do is actually give it a test before we seal this up and make sure everything works. Just in case, we'll have this to hand. So I've hooked up the battery, so we'll just give it a quick try and make sure all the bits that are plugged in work. So the day I cleaned out the whole interior when I was putting it all back in, and sprayed a whole load of like vanilla, Poor Boy's vanilla freshener stuff in here, and it smells great. It smells like a cake shop in here. Hello, just air to the right height. Okay, good news, it starts. That's a +1. Stereo power's up, lights on the dash, horn works, wipers work, indicators are fast, but then the front ones aren't plugged in at all, so that's fine. The airlift system is powered up. Yeah, this is looking proper. That's annoying, there we go. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. So the loom's all wrapped up and looking good. So we've got our main loom, our airlift loom, our power wire for our subwoofer, and our cable for the bonnet pull. We've also got and rerouted the front washer jets up here as well, so they're out of the way. Because with everything down, the whole thing sat about here, and our wheel wants to go pretty much all the way up to here. So I went ahead and bought a clip kit for the boot install to put all the original fittings back in, and it came with these, which are like a cable tie on a push clip, and they happen to fit pretty much perfectly through here. So I intended to use the original stuff, but what I'm going to do is use these because they look a whole lot neater. Okay, so we've got our wire and loom tucked right up in here. See out the way, that's given us an extra probably 1.5 inches in here for wheel clearance. And the last thing we've got to do is cover up this whole hole here. So I've been up to the unit and made up this plate. I didn't film it because if you want to see some video of me cutting and welding stuff, there's plenty on the other videos. And I've just chopped it down to clear a couple of the other grommets that are there, and obviously welded up this cover on it. Please don't judge the welding, it's been a while since I've used a TIG. So what I'm going to do is I've marked out a couple of holes up here. I'm just going to put in the 2 pilot bits, and then I'll drill all of the holes with it sat in place. Might be a bit tricky with clearance, but we'll give it a go. I've just used a couple of small well nuts, these are M4s, to keep that in place. So we've got just 2 holding it in place there, and then I'll drill through my other sections, all the ones I can get to. This one at the top here might be a bit close, up here, and the one at the back there might be a bit close, but anything I can get to I'll drill through with the 4mm, take the thing off, and then put the 10mm through. I've also marked out a little bit up here where I just need to clearance a little bit more for this airline grommet to go through. So I managed to get all the holes drilled out, all 7 of them, which is great because that'll keep it nice and sturdy on there and nice and flush. And so I'm going to, with the holes, I'm going to get some direct-to-metal paint and just spray that on them to keep that watertight and rust tight. And then we can put our nutstuds in and bolt it all up. Because it's stainless, it doesn't need a coat itself. So that's it, one wire and loom all protected and buttoned up. We've got a good 1.5 inches extra here, and we know that nothing is going to disturb it back here where it's all covered over and protected. So now it's just a case of dropping it down and seeing how low we can get this thing to go. Okay, so I'm happy with where that sits and how everything is tucked and protected. On our lowest setting, when rolling, we get a little bit of scrubbing on the front of the inner arch, but we can clearance that just by hammering it through if we need to. But I don't think I'll ever be driving around on that setting. But the wire and loom is protected, it's all hidden away above the arch liner join, and nothing's going to rub at the back there or get into the car or dirt and stuff kicked up on there. So all is good. Thank you very much for watching and watching all the way to the end, and if you've got any questions, please just fire away and put them in the comments or ping me a message. Also, if anyone's interested in, wants something made up like that, just ping me a message, I'll be happy to do it. In the next video, we're probably going to be working on the 180SX, as you've seen it was out behind me there, doing some bodywork bits on those, so all going well, we should have that up in the next few days. See you soon. Raising the Tobagos, we growing like fresh tomatoes. Them boys on fire, too fuego. We pass it round hot potato. Everything is nuevo. I'm with my sweetie like Quavo. Need my cheese, need that queso. Need my bread, need that bankroll. Wake up, yes Lord, I'm thankful.